Good afternoon, this is Matt from XL Pro Tech, and today I want to take you through the teardown, the taking apart of a HP Pavilion. The model number is a 15-P for Papa 147, N for November, A for Alpha. Basically, the customers brought this into us because they've spilt water on the keyboard. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be tearing it down to get to the keyboard and basically just replacing the keyboard. So that is what we're going to do. Let's crack on with it. First, we're going to remove the battery, as you should always do when you are dealing with electronic parts. You have to excuse me, I seem to have developed a frog in my throat exactly the same time as when we're starting the stream, so yeah, typical. Okay, you'll notice a little thing down there. Let's see if we can zoom in on that for you. And that is basically a optical drive symbol there. So if we take out this screw here just above it, we should be able to take that out. The optical driver should come straight out. So just to warn you, we are live, and I'm coming at you from Huddersfield in the UK. So put that to a optical drive to one side. And we've got a nice hair in there. We'll move that out of the way. We do have a screw just underneath the optical drive. Let's take that out while we're here. So let's just angle that a bit more so you can see it. So there's a screw just underneath the optical drive. It's a big sort of round screw, excuse me. And what we're going to do now is just sort of move around the outside of this device, taking out all the screws as we see them. Bit of a stubborn screw in this corner here. Potentially we might come into issues with the plastic. Potentially maybe the plastic has come off that's holding the nut in place, that's holding that screw in, or it's just my sticky sweaty hands because it's been really hot here for a change. Okay, I'm pretty confident that there's a screw under this part here and possibly a screw under this part here, so I'm gonna take that off now. So yeah, here we go, we've got a screw under there. Just show you that close up if I can. So yeah, under the bit of rubber there, which helps to just stabilize the laptop, there is a screw, so we need to take that out. Hey, I'm getting good with my my zooming in now with this new setup. There's a screw here as well. I think that is the only screw underneath in the battery area, as far as I can see. Again, let's just take this up, and yeah, again, we have another screw just in that hole there, which was underneath the rubber pads. So we might have potentially some screws down here as well under these ones. I will check when I get back round to it. Another screw over here. And just to note that the screws that were under these parts here were slightly smaller, so just keep that in mind if you are taking this apart. Let's try and get all of the right size screws back in the right size holes so that we're not messing anything up and we're not creating any damage to the laptop. I'm not sure I could personally own a bright red laptop. It's quite nice. It's not a bad colour red, like a Ferrari racing red, really. I'm not sure it's too much of my style though. And we have one there as well. Okay, and I'm just going to investigate under these pads here. I mean, there are screws quite close by anyway, so potentially there's nothing under there. So no, there's nothing under that one there. And we'll just check on the other side as well. And no, there isn't. You've also noticed that there are a few. There's a rubber. Let's zoom in on that. Just there, there's like a rubber nipple there. So we'll just take that up. Just check there's nothing underneath that. So no, there is literally there's actually nothing in there. It's literally just a random blank hole with a rubber nipple in it. What are you doing, HP? What are you doing? And then, yeah. And then we've also got one right up here as well. Now, this is like a plastic. This isn't like a rubber one. This is like a bit of plastic. Again, let's have a quick look at that underneath that. Make sure that there's no screws under it. Okay, yeah, so again, there are let's just get that into focus. There's no screws under it. It is literally just a random bit of plastic just stuck down there. For whatever reason, HP decided to do that. So, right, let's get this this off here because there are some more. Oh, let's zoom you out. You're all zoomed in there. So yeah, basically I've just popped off this corner bit here. Quite simple, just sort of push it away there. You can use a pick, plectrum, whatever you want to call it. And there is a screw underneath there on that left hand side as I'm looking at it. And we're going to do the same again to this one here, just get a thumbnail under it, or use a pick or a plectrum if it's being a bit more difficult. And just pull that out there. And we've got another screw just here. So, let me show you that is all the screws in the bottom of the section. As far as I can see, there's no other sort of hidden little bits and bats. So, but let me show you. We're going to be taking it out from the bottom because the top here, it's literally almost like a sealed unit. So, you know, there's no way to actually take out the keyboard on this model. So, what we're going to do, let's just get that into focus again. So, we're going to be snapping the plastics just on the bottom here. Use a plectrum. What? And I want to call it a plectrum. I've no idea why. I'm a guitarist myself, so I've no idea why I want to say that. Let's. So I'll just go around the side of it with your plectrum or one of these little things, whatever they're called, and snap the plastics. Don't literally snap the plastics, but do it until you can hear a snap. And we're wanting to basically pull out this assembly. Now, I've got to be careful on this one here because there is damage, as you can see, around that HDMI port, and just going down here as well. So the plastics are quite fragile. We need to be careful that we are not causing further damage to our customer's machine. And just while you're doing it, if you do come across a bit of resistance, you know, just make sure that you haven't missed the screw. What you don't want to be doing is trying to force this up and out when it's basically a screw, and you basically then damage the. Okay, there we go. Whoa, my set's falling down. Stay there. Right. And what we want to do is just okay, so what we want to do is get it to a point so we can peek in. So as you can see there, on this side here we have that's going to the keyboard section. So what we're going to do, we're just going to pop that cable out. So I'll pop that little catch up and squeeze that cable out there. And then there is also another little cable there, just where my finger is. That is for the trackpad. So again, just pop that up and release that cable there. There is also another cable right at the back there. Let's see if we can zoom in on it. So yeah, if you can see it just there where my finger is there, right at the back, that we're going to have to get as well. It's not as urgent to get it. You can basically get the rest of this off and then just flick that up, and there you go. Your palm rest is now free from the main chassis. So this is a bit dusty in here. We'll give it a good spray out with the air duster, because that's no good for anyone or any computer, as it were. And then right, so let's move the main chassis out of the way. As far as I'm concerned, I don't need to. Oh, in fact, what I will do is literally have a once over, just to test, just to see if any liquid has penetrated onto the board itself. It doesn't look like it, to be fair. There's no sort of obvious watermarks anywhere from what I can see. So no, we're going to say that this laptop actually loads up all fine, so I'm not too concerned that it has penetrated anywhere deep. So let's get on to this. Right. So then let's just move that camera back. I think I knocked it in my head. How do we get to the keyboard in this? There are no screws. There is this plate here that is protecting the keyboard, that is holding it in place, but there are no screws that are holding in this plating here. So what is the answer? The answer is it's actually being held in place by little rivets, little plastic rivets. So basically what we're going to need to do is pop these rivets off to get rid of this shield here, this keyboard shield, and then we're going to have to get underneath that, basically to remove the keyboard. So there's a number of ways that we can get rid of the rivets. One is brute force. The other is basically cutting them off sharp blade, something like that. But yeah, it's one of those things. They've obviously done it on the cheap, as it were, and literally just riveted in with plastic. So this is going to be this is going to be really fun. To do. If you have bought, the easiest thing to do in this respect will be to just buy a new hold of the top cover. If you can get hold of it with a keyboard that works. And then your other option is basically to do what I'm going to be about to do right now. So let's zoom out again. So basically, we need to be careful. What we don't want to do is damage the keyboard in any way. Well, we don't want to damage the top cover in any way. You know, we want to pop out this keyboard without doing too much, without doing any damage really to the rest of it. So one way that's been suggested to actually do this is to basically just get an old soldering iron or a soldering iron tip and melt the plastic rivets out. I mean, there's not much to these rivets, to be fair. Should basically just be able to, you know, just pop them out. Using a bit of brute strength, really. The part for us that's going to be awkward is going to be actually putting it back together so that you know, the keyboard is secure. So as you can see, I'm just popping that out there, and it's going okay. Just be careful around this part here, because you do have your touchpad on the underneath there. So what you don't want to be doing is taking out your touchpad at the same time, because otherwise you're going to need to buy them a new touchpad as well. So yeah, just work your way around slowly, popping the rivets off. As you can see, the rivets aren't causing too much of an issue. Just work your way around slowly. If you do come across any that are causing you issues, just go at them with a screwdriver or a sharp blade, like a utility knife, something like that. And just make sure that you're not bending the plastic too much as well, or that you're not digging into the plastic at the front. Okay, you've also got this part here, which is your power button, I believe. Let's just take that out for now, just so that it's not getting in the way. There's just one screw there, and it's just held in by a little catch there as well, so push it out this way, And let's just pop that to one side over there. So there's actually a plastic cover here which we could take off as well if we wanted to. Okay, let's just see if we can where we're at. So yeah, we're quite still quite well. Stuck down, as it were, riveted in. Just see if I can get a bit more leverage on this side, and see if we can just okay, so just be careful of your ribbon cables, and that's it. Keep some pressure down there. You know, on the keyboards, you're not warping the underneath plastics. I mean, it doesn't. If you want to save this keyboard, you're going to need to take off this bit of plastic here. I'm not particularly concerned about this keyboard because it is damaged anyway. And here we go. Okay, just around here. There's some fairly substantial rivets. Let's get rid of those. Stupid plastic in the way. As I say, just make sure that you're not bending the plastics that sort of way. And try not to bend the metal too much either. Right, so we are off. So that's our shield there, and it is off. Thank God. So hopefully this should just come out. Hopefully we haven't got anything else. Okay, yeah, so we do have a few, looks like we do have a few rivet bits there. You can definitely tell where the fan was. You've got a load of dust that's built up in the in that side of the keyboard there. So again, just gently go around. Yeah, you can see the little rivets just on the side bit there. Zoom in for you. There you go. There's a few sort of plastic rivets just holding it in again. So again, we're going to need to defeat those, take them out, snap them off, and basically what you should find is once you've got a good bit of leverage on it, you should just be able to pop those out. And again, watch out for your ribbon cables. These things are just so fragile. And that is our keyboard out. So there we go. That is the Duff keyboard. Let's safely place that behind me by throwing it, and then figure out how we are going to put this new keyboard in. And let's just give everything a quick wipe over. I made a mess of my desk. Okay, so I do have a new keyboard. Which should hopefully just fit in just like that. So I think this is going to be a glue-in job, really. If I have any chance of just, you know, sort of getting this to stay in how it should, the only real way I'm going to be able to do that is a bit of glue. So what you'll find is that there are a few bits of the rivets that are a few sort of stalks, let's say, that are still there in place. That you can pop this over. What I'm tempted to do now is basically just test this keyboard and make sure that it works before going ahead and basically gluing it in. Because the last thing that I want to do at the minute is glue all of this in and then find that it doesn't work. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's just take that out. And do a quick sanity check, as it were. Make sure that this keyboard is working okay. And if it isn't working okay, we'll be able to basically just take it, send it back, or look into other things that that might potentially be wrong with this with this laptop. Because there's every chance that it could have penetrated this, because it is a liquid damage. Yeah, there is potential for the liquid to have gone onto the board, maybe messed up a chip or a resistor, capacitor, something like that. So let's where did I put the battery? So basically what I've done, I've quickly hooked up the keyboard. I've literally got the laptop on my lap at the minute, and basically plugged back in the power on button so I can power it up. And I'm just, as I say, I'm just going to do a quick sanity check, just make sure that I'm happy that this keyboard works before even attempting to do anything with it. like glue it in. Possibly a good idea as well is to actually install your keyboard the right way up. So yeah, the keyboard seems to work fine. Now let me install the cable the right way around. Quite happy with that. Cool. So yeah, let's power this down. And start to glue this in. So basically, when you're gluing in anything with movable parts like a keyboard, you're always going to have to be quite conservative with the amount of glue that you use. You don't basically what you don't want to do is get the glue into the working parts. That would be stupid. Basically be having glued down keys and that wouldn't help anyone, or sticky keys as they are called. Come on, laptop, shut down. Okay, so sanity check over. Let's move this, take the battery out there. God. And let's figure out how to do this. So what I'm going to do is really I'm going to go around and put some glue on around the outskirts here. The middle part will basically get some glue on these little rivets that are sticking up here. Okay. So yeah, we have some glue for the occasion. Ow. Stab myself with something. Where are you? Here we go. We could also try tape on this as well. So the tape that we normally use on an iPad, for instance, we could try that. My overall feeling is that the iPad tape isn't going to be really strong enough, to be honest with you. I've got to be honest. I'm going to prefer the glue for my own peace of mind. And what we're going to have to be careful of is this. bit here. Again, what we could potentially do is sort of melt these plastic rivet bits here. As I say, I'm going to be really try and be conservative about the amount of glue I put on here. I want none of it going into the working parts. So yeah, I'm literally aiming for the edge, the very, very edge of it. And just a very sort of thin layer, really. Obviously this is going to have to cure for a bit, so we'll sort of stick it in and we'll sort of end the live stream there. Basically may come back to this at a later time, just to let you know how it went. If the glue in fact worked, etc, etc. So yeah, I'm going to keep that bit fairly clear because we've got this bit. Oh no, we'll be okay. We're okay. I might just put a few dots just around. That's it. If you have put some on and you think it's too much, just wipe it off. You could potentially use super glue for this, but as I say, just be very, very frugal with the amount you're putting on. Just literally little dots of it. Okay, let's stick this in. So yeah, just make sure that all the on the sort of remaining rivet parts that you're you know, you've pushed it down enough. So the last thing that you want is a keyboard that's gone a bit too shallow. So yeah, basically what I'm going to do now is leave this to kind of cure, put a weight on it so that it's pushing down, and basically we'll sort of end the stream there really. But yeah, so we've also got this big bit of metal to put on as well at some point, and again this was held in by rivets, so we're probably going to end up using maybe a combination of tape and a bit of glue again, just to hold that in. Or we might decide for soldering iron. I think basically what I'm going to have to do is come back to it. But or I can leave you guys on a live stream just watching this dry. But I think what I'll do, as I say, I'll come back to it, because there's no point watching this glue dry. That would suck. So this has been Matt from XL Pro Tech. Thank you so much for watching. As I say, what I'm hoping to do is do a part 2 of this when this part of the glue is dried, and then we'll try putting on the other the big metal bit if we have time, and we'll do it that way and see how we go for that one from there. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description where you can donate a bit of money, or if you want to buy anything through Amazon or through eBay, there's a link as well in the description. It just gives us a bit of a commission. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next stream.